At least 135 teachers, aides charged with child sex crimes this year alone. Are we in May? Yeah, we're in May. It's only been a few months. This is Chris with Protect Your Children Incorporated. Glad you chose to watch this video. Please, if you learned something from this video, if you've been aware, if you've been educated, please like, subscribe, and share the video. It's the only way it's going to get out to lots of people so that they can also be informed. We're going to be looking at an article and a study that was done by Jessica Chasmar of Fox News. It says 102 of the cases, or 76%, involved alleged sex crimes against students. At least 135 teachers and teachers' aides have been arrested so far this year on child sex-related crimes in the U.S., ranging from pornography to raping students. An analysis conducted by Fox News Digital looked at local news stories week by week featuring arrests of teachers and teachers' aides on child sex-related crimes in school districts across the country. Arrests that weren't publicized were not counted in the analysis, meaning the true number may well be higher. Now, of course, we know that a lot of this is underreported, so that means that there's going to be a lot more than what we're reading about here. There was a link to an article here. Teacher at elite sports academy accused of having sexual relationship with underage student. What we're going to be looking at is some graphs here, and we're going to be looking at some of the warning signs, the blaring whoop, 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 warning signs that were out there that parents missed. Now, I know it seems like we come down hard on the parents, and listen, parents, we know that you're working hard, but the reality is that there's a lot of things that can be done by parents to ensure that these types of things are not taking place. There's a lot of warning signs. We tell you to be nosy all the time, and we're going to see why. The analysis found that at least 135 teachers and teachers' aides have been arrested in 41 states between January 1st and May 13th, which works out to about an arrest a day on average. The vast majority of the arrested educators were men. We look at this first graph. It says teachers and teachers' aides arrested for child sex crimes in 2022. Breaks down between men and women. There's been 105 men and 30 women. We're going to keep going here. Teachers arrested for child sex crimes involving students 2020-22. Now we have a breakdown of involved students, did not involve students, and unknown. So the amount that involved students was 102. Did not involve students was 30, and unknown, interesting, unknown was 13. So 135 educators included 117 teachers, 11 teachers' aides, and 7 substitute teachers involved in sexual relationships with children. You know how easy it is to be a substitute teacher? Not much qualifications for that. We look at this pie chart here. We got teachers, teachers' aides, and substitute teachers. As you can see, teachers makes up the vast majority. Then teachers' aides and substitute teachers. Many of the arrests involved especially heinous allegations. Let's look at a couple of them. On April 11th, police in California charged Anthony James Phillips, a 61-year-old former teacher at Cupertino Middle School in Sunnyvale, with aggravated sexual assault of a child, forcible penetration with a foreign object, and forcible penetration with a foreign object upon a child. Phillips is accused of raping a student in 2009 when he was still a teacher at Cupertino. Anessa Page Gower, a 35-year-old former biology teacher at Making Waves Academy. Yeah, making waves all right. In Richmond, California, was charged with 29 counts of child molestation on April 8th. 29 counts. Gower is accused of sexually abusing 7 students between 2021 and 2022. That's a busy predator when she was a teacher at Making Waves. With allegations including forcible sodomy of minors and sharing sexually graphic photos over online platforms. Ding, 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 ding. There's the first warning sign right there. So say this went on for a year. Perhaps it went on longer. There's the grooming process. She was sharing sexually graphic photos over online platforms to the kids. How did parents not realize this? How did parents not know? Because they weren't checking their kids' phones. They weren't monitoring their phones. There was no parental controls on their phones. This lady's due back in court on June 2nd. See here, Johns Hopkins Center Against Child Sexual Abuse hires professor who defended minor attracted person. See, that's the new name now, the new title. They're not pedophiles anymore. They're not even predators anymore. Now it's just a minor attracted person. Yeah, it's they're trying to normalize it out there, folks. They're trying to normalize it. They're trying to make it seem like this is just another type of behavior. It's like a straight person or a gay person, but now you have a person that's just attracted to minors. Like it's no big deal. And Johns Hopkins Center Against Child Sexual Abuse hires a professor who defended a pedophile. That's a scary step. And we got William Landon Smith, a 31-year-old former science teacher at Cape Fear High School in Fayetteville. Cape Fear. Yeah, he certainly brought fear into the lives of these children. He was charged with 27 counts of first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor, 28 counts of indecent liberties with a student, and 1 count of secretly using or installing a photographic imaging device to arouse or gratify sexual desire. See, something else we're seeing here, again, these are not complete strangers, and we've warned about that before. 90% of kids that are abused by someone they already know. It's a friend of the family or a teacher or a coach or something. It's not some stranger down the road. Smith is accused of inappropriately communicating with students via social media apps like Snapchat when he was a teacher at Cape Fear. There we go again. He's inappropriately talking to the children over Snapchat. And again, the kids have this confidence that, hey, I can set my Snapchat settings so that when someone sees an image or sees the video, it just immediately disappears. And they feel like they're safe. Remind your children that, by law, Snapchat holds every snap for a period of 7 years, per the government, for cases like this. And there's also screen recording devices that predators will put on their phones, so when they open up a snap of a video or a picture or a message, it's immediately recorded before it disappears. And then, of course, that video or that image or that message can then be used to force a child to do what they want them to do, or they'll be exploited. They will issue it to the public. They'll release it anonymously, and that child will be embarrassed and living in fear. This is why you have to know who your kids are talking to and check their messages. Warn them about this stuff. John M. Doty, a 35-year-old former biology teacher at Career Academy, South Bend in Indiana, was charged with 2 counts of rape, 1 count of attempted rape, and 6 counts of child seduction. Doty is accused of repeatedly raping a 16-year-old female student and then threatening to kill her. And he is scheduled to stand trial in January of 2023. Our in-depth protection packet, which we have available on our website, quick download, safe download. It shows all of these tricks and traps and threats so that the parents are aware. And it also shows how kids might react if they're under these threats. Please take some time to download that packet and go over it with your children. Danielle Fisher, a 29-year-old former substitute teacher in the Roxana and Alton school districts, was charged with criminal sexual assault and aggravated criminal sexual abuse on February 4th. Fisher is accused of sexually assaulting 2 teenage male students at her home in Edwardsville during summer break last year. A Madison County grand jury later added child pornography to the charges. So she's got child porn. These male students are going to her house. Parents, do you know where your kids are going? Do you know where they're hanging out? Do you know whose house they're at all times? Apparently they were at the teacher's house in the summer. Now, we don't know the circumstances. Maybe she's supposed to be tutoring them or something, but the reality is you got to know where your kids are at all times. A couple more. Erica Sanzi, Director of Outreach. Oh, this is good. For Parents Defending Education, told Fox News Digital that the issue of teacher sex crimes against students needs to be more thoroughly examined by the federal government. She cited the Department of Education's 2004 report. 2004? Is that the latest report we got? Which claimed that nearly 9.6% of students are targets of educator sexual misconduct sometime during the school year. Well, we can just jack that number up to double since it's, 18 years later. She said educator sexual abuse is a major problem that largely gets ignored because it's so uncomfortable to talk about. Sanzi said in a statement, while a very small fraction of educators and school employees prey on the children in their care, one bad actor can do damage to many students. And that is true. Teachers, the work you do, you don't get paid enough. You don't get acknowledged enough. It used to be that you were just teaching the students. Now you're kind of raising them. You're disciplining them. You're trying to teach them. You're working long hours. Teachers out there are working very hard, and we love our teachers. We absolutely love our teachers. They're on the front lines every day. They're the ones that are identifying warning signs. They're the ones that are trying to help out with situations in the home. They're really juggling a lot, and we love our teachers. So this, of course, is not all teachers. It's a small fraction, but the damage is severe, and it's getting worse. The last federally commissioned study on the issue was in 2004. Yeah, obviously this isn't important to the federal government. And that was pre-smartphone. And those who study the issue closely say that the problem has been exacerbated by the ease of communication that a smartphone provides. We need to get much more honest about the problem, study it again, and ensure that we have policies and laws in place that protect children. Amen. It is currently legal in Massachusetts and Rhode Island for teachers and other adults in positions of authority to have sexual relationships with students once they turn 14. Wait, what? And then after a 5-year effort, Rhode Island finally appears poised to change that this year. Now, that's not something we were even aware of. Let me read that right. It is currently legal in Massachusetts and Rhode Island for teachers and other adults in positions of authority to have sexual relationships with students once they turn 14. Last time we checked, statute of limitations was age 18 in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We're going to look more into that. Let's scroll down. Christopher Rufo, a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, said the lack of research on teacher sex crimes against students is a travesty. The public school system has a serious child sex abuse problem, he told Fox News Digital in a statement. The last significant federal study on this topic, which was conducted by the Department of Education in 2004, suggested that millions of American school children are victims of teacher sexual misconduct in each generation of K through 12, and there hasn't been any significant research since then. It's a travesty, he continued. Parents deserve to know exactly what is happening in the public school system. They deserve to have tools for protecting their children from abuse. Congress should immediately fund a $25 million research program into child sexual abuse in public schools and provide complete transparency for the parents. Because the first duty of public schools is to keep kids safe. And tragically, that's not happening in far too many cases. Again, this is a report put together by Jessica Chasmar, Fox News Digital. Unbelievable. And we see what's happening with what they're trying to teach young children in the schools. As a nonprofit organization, we don't come down on one side or the other as far as gay, straight, or trans, whatever. That is not our business. We want all kids to be protected. But what we also don't want is anybody of any sexual orientation forcing their beliefs or forcing their orientation upon young-minded kids. We're talking about first and second and third graders. Before they even hit puberty, you start putting into their minds about the sexual things that they can do and what grown-ups do. That is what predators do. They groom children by talking about this stuff, trying to get them to think about it and imagine it and start to desire it. So we don't need teachers or anybody in these schools grooming our children. And we sure as heck don't need them abusing our children. So parents, be nosy. You need to be checking through your kids' phones. And we've heard, oh, it's just going to be a big battle if I try to do that. You're the parents. They do not have a password on their phone that you don't know. You need to be able to get in that phone randomly. Not every single week on Thursday at 5 p.m. Because then they're going to know to delete stuff. If you randomly check their phones, you go through their apps, you go through their social medias, and you look at the messages. You want to know what your children are thinking? You want to know where they're at emotionally? You want to know where they're at behaviorally? Don't look at how they're sitting at the dining room table or how they nicely do their chores every day at home. Look at their phones. Look how they're communicating with their friends. Look who they're communicating with. Then you'll have a great idea of what's really going on. Be nosy. Now on our website, we have a section for parental controls. Step-by-step instructions on how to put parental controls on every device, including game systems. Then you can be notified if there's anything inappropriate. So that's about it for now. 135 already arrested that we know about just since January. Teachers, teachers' aides, substitutes, and those are the only ones that we know about. Please take this information to heart. Visit our website, protectyourchildren.org, protectyourchildren.org. A lot of great resources there. If you want to help us to get this information out, we pay for promotion. We pay to get this information out to tens of thousands of people because social media won't do it with their algorithms. If you want to help us be able to do that, you can make a tax-deductible donation right from our website. We are a federal nonprofit. Everything's tax-deductible, and we will send you a tax-deductible receipt. And every dollar that you donate goes to getting information, education, awareness out to parents and kids to help keep them safe. So thanks for watching. Until next time, keep them safe.